Perfect. So yeah, thanks for being here, you guys. I promise it will be a hell of a transformational journey over the next 90 minutes. We're not just going to only talk about habit and installing the habit tracking system, but also energy and time, and mastering our time so we're productive and connected with our loved ones. And also installing energy rituals that can add 1 to 2 hours worth of productivity in your day. I'll be sharing those with you guys. But first, I would love to hear from you all. What is the number one reason that you showed up today? What made you say yes to either the habit tracker or the masterclass? What are you looking to get out of it? Just pop it into the chat. Paul, I'm looking to adopt Andrew's best habits. Looking like a great habit tracker. I might switch and utilize the habit tracker too. Awesome. Can you please share the Airtable link? Yes, as you guys pop that in there, I'm gonna pull this up and drop the habit tracker in the chat. If you guys haven't grabbed that yet, grab the link where you guys can get that. Going. And grab the habit tracker right there as well. If you have not gotten that yet, awesome. Bridget, it's in there. Marco is just curious. Curiosity is the energy of creation. I fucking love that, man. Consistency with daily habits. Hunter, awesome. Cool. Using the AI to help integrate better habits into business and personal life. I love it, Tommy. We got Bruno joining in here. Let's hear from everybody. Bill, why are you here? Dave helps with setting our intention. I love it. Jason, pop it in the chat. We'll get started in about a minute here. Also, let me know what do you guys do? What is your mission or what is your business? Also, it helps form connections, letting other people know what we do, what our mission is. Pop it in the chat. We value community and connection here at Masters of Faith. This is a great way to do it. Hunter, Assassin Consulting, firefighting for fun. Are you out in California, Hunter?
No, I'm just out of Denver.
Out of Denver? Nice. Beautiful. Pop in the chat. Paul, Marco, Dave, Bill. FBscraper.com. Let's go. Let's get a few more going in there and then we'll get into the presentation for you guys.
So I'm trying to download the habit tracker. I think I already downloaded it. Is it a link? Because I just went there, and now it's showing me a booking page. So
yeah, so
are you emailing it to me? How do I get the actual habit tracker?
It should be in your email now. If you look,
email, okay,
the tracker, email, it'll be in there. And then also that call is to go deep with Tommy here, to install that habit with the new habits with you guys. And also he'll teach you a little breath work technique, that's added 1 to 2 hours worth of productivity in my days on that call. So if you want to recommit to your habits and fully commit to your habits, the alignment accelerator call with Tommy is fucking perfect for that. So, Paul, serial entrepreneur in the travel and tourism space. I love it. Digital nomad. Same here, Paul. SaaS developer of the world's mightiest organic lead generation and group automation softwares. I love it. We have a brother in our brotherhood, Dano, who's really good with that stuff too. Bill, mentor teenagers to find more motivation, confidence, productivity by discovering their mission alignment, their lives. to who they want to become and make weekly goals of personal excellence. I love that, Bill. Love that so much. Kara Lee, good to see you. Thanks for being here. And actually, Tommy, if you can grab the actual Airtable link for the ultimate habit tracking system, you can just pop that in down below if you guys are having trouble finding it inside of your email. That would be awesome. We'll get into it. And Carolee, we just we're sharing where we're from, what we do, what our mission is, so we can start forming those connections. All right, guys, you ready to get into it? Cool.
Let's rock.
Let's freaking rock. Go. Can you see my screen? All right. Well, welcome to the Ultimate Habit Tracking System Masterclass. I promise you over the next now 80 minutes together, you're going to have a hell of a transformational journey. Way to get the most out of this. And one of my favorite quotes is, the shortest pencil retains more than the longest memory. Write things down, anything that stands out to you, anything you want to remember, any things, any action items that you want to jot down. Just start writing those things down either on your computer or your desktop or your journal, whatever it is. So let's hop into it, you guys. How many of you guys have thought this? How do I consistently maintain my daily habits without feeling overwhelmed or giving up? I wish I had a clear system to track my progress and see tangible results of my daily efforts. How can I manage my time effectively to ensure I'm focusing on the right tasks and not just being busy? I wish there was a way to visualize where my time goes so I can make better decisions about my day. Any of you guys think that? Raise your hands. Any of those things? All right, about half of us. And Bill is just looking up into the corner and he looks majestic right now. All right. I love it. Well, it's not your fault. You've read countless self-help books and attended numerous productivity webinars, and no one has provided a practical system tailored for entrepreneurs like you. You have the passion and drive to achieve greatness, but you're not being shown the daily habits that can truly make a difference. Everywhere you look, it's all about hustle and grind, and nobody's talking about sustainable growth and avoiding burnout. You're missing out on reaching your peak performance, and it feels like no one is offering you a clear step-by-step guide on building habits that align with your entrepreneurial journey. But what if you could say, I have a proven system in place that ensures I consistently maintain and track my habits leading to peak performance every single day. I know precisely how to manage my time and energy, ensuring I'm always at my best, both in my business and personal life. I possess the strategies to avoid burnout, ensuring sustainable growth and well-being as I scale my enterprise. Every challenge I face, I have a tailored habit or ritual to address it, keeping me on track towards my goals. Wouldn't that empower you to achieve more, avoid burnout, and truly thrive as an entrepreneur? Raise your hands, one in the chat, if that would help thinking that way. Awesome. Love it. We got some ones in the chat. No ones. Okay, we got one. Hunter, you're my favorite. FB Scraper, you're my second favorite. I love it. So, the Ultimate Habit Tracking System Masterclass. Let's get Randy in here. So today we're going to show you examples of exactly how our clients are using the Ultimate Habit Tracking System to produce astronomical results in their lives and business. The easy way to maintain laser focus and unconquerable consistency without always feeling like you're on the brink of burnout. How to leverage ChatGPT to maintain your habits and transform your productivity. How many of you guys are consistently using ChatGPT on a daily basis or another AI? Awesome. So about half of us, some halfsies here. I love it. Oh, we got some late people in here too, but thank you for showing up. Pop, Randy, good to see you guys. Ashish, Love that name. Good to see you, Ashish. We're just getting into it right now. You just missed the part where I'm buttering everybody up for this webinar. So cool. And then lastly, how to master your time so you master your life. Most of you guys came from my Facebook, so you know me, but a little background on me. I'm a speaker, peak performance coach, and online business scaling consultant. This is a little bit much. I didn't write this. Who's mastered the ability to help people create massively effective systems using AI, Airtable, and Zapier automations for their lives and businesses. Since 2018, I've built multiple seven-figure businesses online, selling one in 2021, while traveling to over 22 countries on 4 different continents. I love travel. If you guys ever want to jam out about travel and your favorite spots, I'm here for it, all about it. Over the past 5 years, I've helped over 1,000 of my clients scale their businesses past 6 to 8 figures, and many more quit their 9-to-5 jobs. And I really pride myself on helping entrepreneurs become lit up by life, avoid burnout, and assisting them in systemizing their lives and businesses. One thing I should mention is that it's not. I was 18 years old. I went through a breakup with a girl that I was absolutely in love with at the time. We went to different colleges, and I went through a massive depression for 6 years. So 18 to 24 years old. I was completely numb. I was a poly drug user and drinking 3 to 4 nights per week to complete blackout. And just was not living a life of purpose or intention, or just couldn't feel anything. And it wasn't until I turned 24 years old where I read this poem called Invictus by William Ernest Henley. How many of you guys have read that poem? Raise your hands. One in the chat if you've read that poem. And keep your cameras on, guys. I'd love to see people's faces, and it's super helpful for the presentation. So when I was 24, I read that poem, and the final 2 lines are, "I'm master of my fate, I'm captain of my soul." I don't know why that random day that poem came to me and that stood out to me, but up until that point, and I'll take this off. Up until that point, I had this subconscious belief in the back of my mind that somebody was going to come into my life and save me and take me out of that depression. And when I read those 2 lines, "I master my fate, I'm captain of my soul," I took that as, if I take radical responsibility for my life, I can do anything in my life. And I ended up setting a goal to lose 20 pounds and to quit drinking in 90 days. And I ran across the street to this pizza shop, got a free calendar, and I marked off 90 days, put it up in my bedroom, and each day I was sober, I'd put an X through the calendar. And then I studied everything that I could on YouTube around nutrition and working out and all of that stuff. And 45 days into it, I broke down and cried in the shower just randomly. It was the first time I cried in 6 years. It was the first time I ever felt anything in 6 years. Then 30 days after that, day 75, I looked down at the scale at the YMCA and I was 21 pounds lighter. And 15 days after that, I was 90 days sober. That 90-day sprint changed the rest of my life. I quit my job. I started my first business. It was rocky. It was rough. But I joined courses and coaching programs and built community and all of that, got that off the ground, started my coaching business, all of that. And it's just been up since. There are ups and downs, but I'm actually living a life now. And it goes back to the importance of setting goals, taking radical responsibility for our lives, for your life, and installing the habits. My habits were around eating. My habits were around going to the gym every single day. And my habits were around stopping drinking. And one of the most important things during that time was having a streak counter, where I could see how many days that I wasn't drinking, and how many days in a row I went to the gym. So that's the importance of setting goals and installing habits and creating streaks and being consistent, is that we can totally change our lives in just a matter of 90 days. So does that make sense to you guys? Cool. So let's get back into it. So more authority stuff. This shit works. I've helped over 1,000 people, scaled a lot of businesses, blah, blah, blah. You might know some of these faces. Cole Gordon runs a $30 million agency now. Eli Wild, Tony Robbins, #1 salesperson, Bastian Slott. He does over 8 figures in his business. Really awesome guys. It's been really awesome, and it's a testament to their business habits. Also spoken on some cool stages with Damon John, Tom Bilyeu, got my 2 Comma Club award and all that good stuff. Okay, the authority stuff is done. So here's what we're going to be going over today. First thing, mindset and approaches. So the mindset of installing habits. Then we're going to go into the rule of 3s of habit creation and deletion, the always nevers of habit implementation and deletion, the never regret list, which is really powerful. I sent out an email to you guys. Did any of you guys do the never regret list yet? Oh shit, that's going to be powerful as fuck. I'm excited. Also installing the habit tracker directly on this call. How to use ChatGPT as your second brain in creating a personal persona for yourselves in ChatGPT that you can use for habits and anything outside of habits as well. Energy rituals for peak performance. Really powerful tools called power pivots and ritual resets. Time design for life mastery. And I got a special gift and announcement for you at the end. Cool. So we're going to get into that. But what are you guys most excited for coming up? Is it the time? Is it the energy? Is it the habits? Would love to hear from you guys in the chat. And then we will rock and roll. Cool. Hunter habits. Love it. Bill, consistency of habits. Rock, FB scraper. Just give me those habits. Kara Lee, consistency of habits. Bruno, energy. And then bringing them to the team. Love it. Bruno's my man with the energy. Let's go. All right, guys. Let's hop into it. So the mindset, first thing to remember in life and installing habits. About a year ago, I was watching an Alex Hormozi video, and he said something really powerful that stuck with me since I heard it. Life isn't short. It's the longest thing we've ever done and the longest thing we ever will do. We run into problems when we rush and force things. But when we can remember that life isn't short, it's the longest thing we've ever done, longest thing we ever will do, and our only job is to stay consistent, not perfect, that's when we actually get the results that we want. We can be gentle with ourselves. We can flow instead of force. If we just remember life isn't short, it's the longest thing we've ever done, the longest thing we ever will do. Whenever we're human, we will fall off. That will happen. Whoever is telling you otherwise is a fucking liar. It happens to all of us. But if we can remind ourselves that it's just about consistency over time, and it's about getting on the horse, back on the horse when we fall off, that's the most important thing. Does that make sense, you guys? So then the rule of 3s. This has been one of the most powerful tools for habit creation and deletion that I've ever used. So you'll see my dad in the right-hand corner there. Amazing dad. Growing up, he was a smoker. So he would go out into the backyard every morning, afternoon, and night and have a cigarette. And I remember that for the first 20 years of my life, maybe about 15 years of my life. And he quit around when I was 15, and I was talking with him at a family reunion about a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. And I was like, Dad, how'd you quit smoking? And I was like, you've been to hypnotherapy, you've done all these things. What was the thing that ultimately made you quit? He looked me dead in the eyes and he was like, Andrew, it's just the rule of 3s. Keep it simple. So you get to 3 days, then you get to 3 weeks, then you get to 3 months, then you get to 3 years. When we look at installing this habit or stopping this habit as this thing that I need to do for a lifetime or a thing that I need to get to a year or whatever it is, it becomes this big thing that's overwhelming and we don't do it. But if we just say, hey, I'm going to get to 3 weeks or 3 days, I'm going to commit to 3 days. Cool. I'm going to and lay the foundation. I'm going to commit to 3 weeks and make it a routine. I'm going to commit to 3 months and make it a lifestyle. And I'm going to commit to 3 years and master the shit out of it. That's how we want to think about our habits. Is just chunking it backwards, keeping it simple, and remembering the rule of threes. Just getting to 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. So think about those habits that you're looking to install, that you're looking to delete. And today, just commit to getting to 3 days. Then commit to get to 3 weeks, and 3 months, 3 years. Make sense? Good. Awesome. So the always and nevers of habit creation and deletion: start small, make it manageable, very much like what we're talking about with the 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. But also, if it's being consistent going to the gym, just go to the gym and lay on the mat when you're starting. It's about starting small and building it up over time so we can be consistent. Consistency is the key. We're not looking for perfection, we're looking for consistency. Also, reward yourself. Intermittent rewards are really, really powerful. And that's part of the ChatGPT portion, is identifying those intermittent rewards and habit stacking as well. How can we combine the things and reward ourselves over and over and over? Seek accountability is one of the best ways. When I lost those 20 pounds in 90 days, I had a gym partner that I would go with. So think about who can hold you accountable. If you're not a part of a community yet that can hold you accountable to these habits, join one. Adjust as needed. Be flexible with things. And you'll make the changes to them. Make sense? Raise hands. Awesome. Cool. So the nevers, and we'll talk a little bit about emotional alchemy later on this presentation, but never beat yourself up. When we beat ourselves up, we release cortisol in our system, epinephrine, norepinephrine, stress hormones that don't allow us to take another step forward. It brings us down. Life isn't short. It's the longest thing we've ever done, the longest thing we ever will do. Avoid an all or nothing mentality. So there is way too much bullshit out there that is just around, you need to force, you need to go like all the time, blah, 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 blah. That's not how humans operate. So chunk it backwards: 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. Never rely solely on willpower. So another big portion of the habit tracking system and the ChatGPT prompts is identifying where you can reduce friction and where you can add friction. So when you're looking to reduce, or when you're looking to start a new habit, you want to reduce friction. So if you want to start going to the gym, maybe it's putting out your clothes before bed. And when you wake up, you can put those clothes, the gym clothes, on early and go, right? So reduce friction for new habits, add friction for habits you want to stop. Maybe it's stop watching Netflix or TV. Maybe it's unplugging the TV and putting it in your closet. That adds a lot of friction. It's just one decision we need to make that will reduce friction or add friction, so we're not relying on willpower, right? Don't be vague. So make it very specific. So you have your habit and you have your goal, right? So your habit, if you want to start reading, a really good place to start is just 10 minutes per day. And I've had a few conversations recently with clients that have said that just starting with that 10-minute reading habit per day changed their life, with adding new knowledge, new inputs, all that stuff. Avoid too many changes at once. Super important. Don't overwhelm yourself. Think about what season you're in life right now and what habits you want to focus on. So just real quickly with you guys, I don't have it in the slides, but I think it's really important. The seasons of life, we have a self season where we're just focused on the internal, on ourselves, right? And growing personally. We had a brother, Eric Isbrant, who was going through depression when he first started the Brotherhood, but he fully adopted the self season. And in 3 months, he was able to totally transform his depression into purpose because he was focused on his values, his beliefs, his mission, and moving that forward. That's a self season, right? Then you've got a wealth season, which is all around, hey, I'm struggling for money. I'm just going, and I feel decent. I'm just going to go all in on building wealth, right, in your business. Then you have a relationship season. So, for example, I went to an ashram in 2021 and for a month. And after I left the ashram, I'm like, I'm fucking lonely. So I was like, I'm going to enter a relationship season. I just traveled and met up with people and went deep inside the relationships. And then we have a spirituality season. I've been to a Buddhist monastery, Deer Park Monastery. Shout out to them if you want to go there for a week and spend $500 and have a crazy transformational experience. Highly recommend Deer Park Monastery. But that would be a spirituality season, going into why am I here? What is the purpose? All of that stuff. And surrendering more than intention and forcing. So spirituality season is all surrender. Is this helpful, you guys? Isn't it cool that I have some of these sidebars? Okay, cool. Sweet. Ooh, Bill. Followed the rule of threes with my children. He sets of 3 kids. Awesome. Stop it by. Awesome. Brilliant. Roll of threes. Thanks, Bridget. All right. And 2 big things. Never compare yourself. When we're comparing ourselves, it's so, as we build up more confidence within ourselves and see more tangible results, that's when we start comparing ourselves less and less and less. But it's really hard when we're at a place where we're not super confident in ourselves. I was there for the longest time. But the less that you can scroll through social media and delete that habit, the easier it becomes and the less we compare ourselves. Super important. We have our own unique journeys. We have our own unique values, our own unique visions, our own unique beliefs. Follow your own path, your own dharma, not somebody else's. And then don't expect immediate results. So what I did when I lost 20 pounds in 90 days is I weighed myself every 2 weeks. I didn't weigh myself every single day because that gave me enough time to see a result. So don't keep checking for the result. Trust in the consistency and trust in the path. Does that make sense, you guys? Cool. So we're going to do a little exercise here. This is one of the simplest and most powerful things that you can do when it comes to installing new habits and replacing old habits. So when we feel good, we think good, and we do good, right? When we feel bad, we think bad and we do bad. So when we can fill our time up with things that we never regret doing and that fill us up, we replace our bad habits and we install new habits where we feel our best, we treat other people at the best that we can do. And it's simply by creating a never regret list. For some reason, this question is really powerful. What are the things that I never regret doing? I have some examples here, but exercising, breath work, meditation, drinking green juice, going out of my way to help somebody, studying, hosting game nights with my friends, calling my best friend Dakota, going to the beach, listening to the Monroe tapes before bed. It doesn't need to be just 10 things. You can keep going on with this list. But I'm going to give you guys about 3 to 5 minutes right now to just brain dump. If you guys don't think you have anything left to think of, keep writing. Another example, I did this with my business partner, Nick Robbins, when he first joined us at Masters of Fate. And he wrote down taking a morning walk with his wife, Sema. And they haven't missed a day since of morning walks and talking with one another. And just, we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. If we have a list in front of us of the things that we never regret and we fill our time up with that, we just become happier human beings. So does that make sense, you guys? Cool. I'll give you 3 to 5 minutes just to start brain dumping on this stuff. We'll get that rocking and then move into the rest of the presentation. Oh, Bill, I'll share that later. They're fucking crazy. Yeah. They were built by the FBI and they're supposed to help you create outer body experiences. So maybe I'll drop it in the chat, but I'll let you guys rock out your never regret list. Put some writing music on. Right. We keep writing if the juices are still flowing there. But I'd love for you guys to put in the chat what are some of the things that you've added to your never regret list. Maybe there are some unique ones came to mind. Workout, going hiking, being outdoors. Love it. Meal prep, breakfast and lunch. Awesome, Bridget. Ooh, Randy, got a list. I love it. Playing guitar, playing music with friends, meditation, deep conversations, connecting with nature, drawing. Awesome. Daily intermittent fasting, 14 hours. Love it, Marco. Paul, surfing, visiting the mountains, solid nutrition, exploring new skills that push my creative boundaries. Awesome. This is perfect. Becoming self-employed at 18 years old, never gone back, loving and going outdoors and doing anything in nature. Awesome. Fishing, rollerblading. Awesome. And think about throughout the rest of this presentation, how can we bake our never regret list into our daily habits? So exploring a new skill set for Hunter might be 30 minutes of studying each day. And you can stack that habit and connect them together. Of maybe exercise is another thing too. Maybe it's 100 push-ups and then going straight into studying that new skill, going to YouTube, study that new skill or that course or whatever it is. So think about your list and baking that into daily habits and stacking them together. So in the morning, I'll do things I never regret: breath work, meditation, and exercise. So I'll do 100 push-ups in the morning, 10 minutes of breath work, 10 minutes of meditation, stacked all together. So they just connect together. And I do all the things I never regret. And when we focus our time and our efforts and energy on the things that we never regret doing, it replaces the time that we're scrolling social media or watching TV or doing things that we do regret. Plus, we feel better, so we think better and we do better. Does that make sense to you guys? So put this list on a journal or something that you can put on your desk or on your refrigerator or somewhere that you see it every single day. And you can add things to this list, whatever it is. And this one simple tool will change your life if you're just reminded of these things every single day and stack these habits together. Does that make sense? And you can put them in your habit tracker. So, and that's what we're going to jump into next. So with the habit tracker, this is where we're streak counting, and it's built in for the rule of threes. So to get to 3 days, 3 weeks, and then 3 months. So does everybody have it? I'll drop the link in the chat. Here we go. And when you get this link, the first thing that you want to do is copy it over to your base. If you don't have an Airtable yet, then you can create a free account and then copy it over. So it's copy base right here. And there are 3 primary sections of Airtable. We use it for our business and for our personal lives. It's going to take a second to install because I'm on Zoom, but I'll just talk about it here. You have data. So if you download the Airtable app, that's where you'll see all of the data. And I love going in there each day and checking my streaks and all of that stuff. Then you have automations, which is especially cool for business, just automating tasks, connection to Slack, all of that stuff. But inside of the habit tracker, I'll show you some of the automations. And then you have interfaces. And in any system, we want to turn data into information so we can make decisions, right? So once you hit copy base and you've got it in there, we have the first section, which is all of the trainings. So I wanted to make this really simple for you guys. And so you always have the trainings here around the habits and ChatGPT and energy and time. So you've got those there and you just click and you can open up those videos. Most of them are shot on Loom. So you can see those there, going deeper into that stuff. Then you have the data side for your time tracking, and we have examples here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. And then you have your energy tracking, and we're going to talk about emotional alchemy, how to actually manipulate in a good way or influence our hormones internally so we feel our best, and what these things actually do. And then you have your habit tracker right here. I've put in some things around business because I noticed there weren't any business examples, but I have some business examples for you right here. And the only thing you do is you can delete any of these that you're not tracking, and you just simply change the date of when you started this. So if I have a habit of watching the sunset, which is really good for sleep, I can just click that. And what it'll do when we have the automation turned on, it will change it to a 3-day commitment. So we just want to get to 3 days again, right? For adding any new habits, it's as simple as clicking this button, adding in the name, the date, the percentage to 90 days will come out automatically. Is it a habit you're starting or stopping? Is it for your mindset, your energy, your relationships, or your business? How long are you doing it? And then here's everything around James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And I'll show you how to use ChatGPT for that so you fully stick to those new habits. Does that make sense, you guys, on the data side? Let's see if these automations transferred over. Okay. So if you go into the training section, there's some automations to set up for this that makes it super powerful. So trainings, and then let's see, ultimate habit tracking. I believe it's in the ultimate habit tracker setup. You watch that video, it will show you how to turn on the automations in here. And then you'll know how to use Airtable better as well. And one of the other cool things is that you can send an automation where you put in a 90-day celebration for stretching. Maybe your celebration for hitting 90 days is to get a trip to Bali. Then you can set up an automation where it texts you that, hey, you hit 90 days with stretching, book your flight to Bali. So that's another really cool automation that I go into in the training set. Does that make sense to you guys? Cool. So we have the data side, we have the automation side, and then we have the interfaces side. What I recommend is just taking this lockbox and putting it at the top of your Chrome bar extension. And then you have that at any time you want to go to the trainings, the tracker, the time tracker, or the energy rituals. And this
Can you show that one more, please?
Yeah, this is awesome productivity with anything. If you're using Google Chrome, all you have to do is move it down. And these are all my most important links right here. And it just,
I've got the links. I just didn't see that simple drag and drop automation in there. Beautiful. Thank you.
There you go, man. And then you can hit edit and change the name of those things. So
sweet.
So all of the trainings in here, you just click this expand link, boom, and you can watch a video. A lot of these things are written out, boom, so you can see all of that. And then it's also gamified a little bit. So you can move this to complete. You can move this to, I want to review this next. And then you can move through all of the trainings there. So if you want to know how to use the habit tracker, the time tracker, or the energy rituals, all of these things have a video around them right there. And just to go through them really briefly, you've got this habit tracker here where you can see how many things that you're moving towards 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 days. And this is a progress towards 90 days. And Paul, I will get to your question in a second here. Lewis, thank you so much for sharing. Anything in Airtable, you can always expand the records. It has this awesome open sidebar. And I've also added in a button for ChatGPT. So you're just a click away from opening up ChatGPT there. So you can put your cue, craving, all of that stuff in here. And I'm going to show you later on how to put those things in. You've got your time tracker here too. I feel like I'm going into a little bit too much, but I think this is really good. Just if you feel like time is just like dripping by the wayside, track your time at least for a week. And you can easily put in the new times there and all of that stuff and track all of your time as well. We have the training video on that in there. And energy rituals, I'll talk a little bit later on in a second here. So Paul asked, how do you log tasks, watch sunset, breath work, etc.? You can either be on the data side or you can be on the interface side. And it's as simple as going in here and clicking the plus button. and adding in that new habit. So running. And you'll see it up here. So it's being tracked now, right there. And then you put in your start date. How long do you want to run for? It's for your energy. I want to start doing this. And then I'll show you how to fill the rest of this out so you fully commit to these things using ChatGPT. Cool. Are you guys with me? Awesome.
Andrew, sorry, there was just one second there where you were in there and then you opened up a thing and it had a little instant button to get you to chat. I didn't see how you opened that little side window. I apologize. Could I see that again?
Yes. So anything in Airtable, you can expand the records in there. And thank you for asking, Bill. So this little side thing will say expand. You click that, boom, go expand. And in Airtable, you can add quick link buttons. So I added in a button here for you guys so you can quickly go to ChatGPT, which is really cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. So let's get back into the training, you guys. I think that's everything that I wanted to cover with the actual habit tracker. And the rest of this presentation will help you start developing those habits so you can put them into the tracker and time design and energy rituals. So how many of you guys are using ChatGPT right now on a daily basis? Cool. The ultimate fucking hack that I have found is having it on this has nothing to do with this presentation, but I just want to share it with you, is having the ChatGPT app on your phone and anything you want, just speaking into it. So I don't know how to grill pork chops, and I was instructed to grill pork chops the other day. So what did I do? I went straight to ChatGPT and I told it, I have two sides to this grill. I have pork chops. I want to make a medium rare. What's the best way to do that? And then it gave me the answer. So definitely use the ChatGPT, and the pork chops were fucking great, by the way. So use the ChatGPT app and just talk into it. It will get you any answer you want. I've also become a master at the game Catan, because before I played about 3 weeks ago, I asked it what is the best strategy for beating my friends in Catan. There are 3 players and it was as specific as possible, and I cleaned house. So you get anything with ChatGPT that I'm presenting here, make sure that you have the app and you're speaking into it and you're using it. Cool. So we want to develop a personal persona for ourselves. This will give us much better answers out of ChatGPT, and it will allow us to create a very specific game plan for all of our habits. You have the trainings in here, and here I have an example of what you want to fill out, and here's an example of my own personal persona. So I copy and paste that into ChatGPT, and then I copy and paste the task for the habit and deletion. So I put the instructions for my personal persona and then the habit and deletion, and then it will spit out everything that I need to put into here. The cue, the craving, the response, the reward, helpful links, all this stuff came from ChatGPT automatically. So you create that personal persona, it takes 30 minutes. It allows you to recommit to your goals. It helps you create an actual calendar for yourself as well of what you do consistently every single day. And that helps the habit task for ChatGPT put those new habits at the right time in your calendar. So it's really cool. So all you need to know is create the persona and then add in the task, and then it can spit out everything that you need to implement that new habit so you can commit to it. Here's an example. So it spits out helpful resources as well. So if you want to start doing yoga or daily journaling, it will take you directly to books, apps, and videos that you can watch to help you start that new habit or stop that new habit. as well, or old habit. Is this helpful so far? Okay, I feel like it's getting dry as fuck, but we'll keep going. Boom. So your action with ChatGPT, create version 1 of your ChatGPT persona, and add in the habit task formula and copy and paste the responses into your habit tracker. Just looking at the responses will help you recommit to your habit and know exactly what you need to do to start that habit or to delete that habit. All right. And I would love to get takeaways before we go into energy and time, which I've found to be way more important than actually just attacking the habit head on. But what are we doing with our time and how are we managing our energy? So pop in the chat, what is your number one takeaway so far? And what are you most excited about? We'll keep rocking. Can be overwhelming, but good thing is that there's a way framework to follow after the call. I love it. Yep, Bruno, I'll show you that one more time. Bridget, the 3 strategies, never regret less, ChatGPT implementation. I love it. Let's get 1 or 2 more and then we'll keep rocking. Organized structure makes things more doable, 100%. Feels like I'm spending a lot more time in Airtable, haha, but feel more organized, 100%. Love it back. There was a quote that I came by the other day. I think it was by Benjamin Franklin. 1 hour of organizing is 1 week of time saved, or something like that. Love that. Andrew, I have another call schedule. Watch the rest of it. All right, Marco. I said just yesterday that I need to set up an Airtable and this chain comes up. Universe is calling it in. Love it, Randy. All right. So this is something I'm deeply passionate about. And if you get anything out of this training, I want you to get the energy rituals out of it. I have burnt out hardcore twice, once in 2018, another time in 2021, and I will never burn out again because of energy rituals I've installed. So we have a buildup of cortisol, stress, norepinephrine, epinephrine during the day, stress hormones that go through our body, especially being entrepreneurs that are hardworking, action takers, go-getters. And over time, that builds up and leads to burnout. But we have emotional alchemy that I'll be able to go into a little bit on this call so that we can offset our cortisol response with serotonin. So serotonin is the antidote to cortisol. Serotonin is the happy, joy, calm molecule. When you're breathing right now, you're taking those big belly breaths, you're actually rejuvenating the organs in your system and producing more serotonin, reducing the cortisol response. If your mind is going crazy, you can't focus, always go back to the breath. I recommend breath work and then just following the breath in and out. But there are also other things that we can do to release other hormones in our body to offset the cortisol response. So when you're exercising, most of you guys know this already, you release a lot of endorphins. Endorphins are the social euphoric molecule. If you hit a 30-minute workout, then you feel more social. You want to talk to people. If you hit like an hour and a half workout, you're just fucking tired and you've released too much cortisol and too much testosterone. But a good workout, getting into the flow, you also release nitric oxide, also that helps calm down the nervous system, right? Or oxytocin, which is the love or connection molecule. We can release that by telling stories of empathy, sharing stories of vulnerability with one another. We feel more human. Me sharing my story earlier around my depression allowed you to put yourself in my shoes and vice versa, and you release more oxytocin into your system by empathizing. Or when we're cuddling with a loved one, hugging a loved one, being empathetic with a loved one, releasing oxytocin that offsets that cortisol, right? We feel more human, we feel more connected. So we have the power to shift, to change our energy on a hormonal level just by installing energy rituals. Are you guys with me? One more that I want to mention, dopamine, motivation, focus. If we feel like we don't have a lot of motivation and focus, it's usually because we're getting cheap hits of dopamine. I'm in the past, fucking YouTube videos, pornography, all of that stuff, cheap hits of dopamine. So when I wanted to be motivated and focused, I couldn't. But in drinking was really bad. But what we can do is take away those habits that are taking away cheap dopamine and install them with new habits, like reviewing our vision, what we actually want out of this life, what we desire, what impact we want to make, or studying that YouTube video of that skill set we're really interested in. Because dopamine is the pursuit of pleasure molecule. It's not actually the pleasure molecule. So when we're thinking about our vision, or we're talking about a vision with a loved one, or if we're studying something that really lights us up, it's the pursuit of pleasure, and we feel more motivated, we feel more focused. So if you get anything out of this, it's energy rituals to influence our hormones and reduce cortisol and fill ourselves up more with the love chemicals, right? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, cool. So once you identify and commit to your energy rituals, you become more peaceful, grounded, and productive throughout the days. They allow you to be more productive in your work, more present with your loved ones, and they allow you to be more creative. Once you implement and optimize your energy rituals, you start to sync your brain and body into their natural rhythm. Energy rituals provide you with a clear mind and a grounded body, improving your ability to stick to your habits. So one other thing that I want to mention, this is, if you get anything out of this, this is what I want you to get out of it. It's the space between the notes that make the music. It's the space between our thoughts that create music out of our life. So when I was depressed, when I was burnt out, it was because my thoughts were constantly going. It was like spilling a bunch of plates on the floor and them all breaking over and over and over and over. But if I had known about energy rituals, I could do breath work, I can do exercise, I can talk to a loved one to calm down the mind, get back in the body, put the space between my thoughts, I would have created more music out of my life and I would have never burnt out. So it's the space between the notes that make the music. It's the space between our thoughts that creates music out of our lives. This thing doesn't need to constantly be going. I was a psychology major in college, and all I was thinking was, it's about the brain, it's about the brain, it's about the brain. It's about the brain and body. Bring the masculine and feminine together, right? So, anywho, that was a sidebar. When you understand emotional alchemy, you understand how to achieve peak performance and how to stick to your habits. So I brought this up earlier. When we feel good, we make good decisions. When we feel bad, we make bad decisions. So why aren't we taking better care of how we feel? Most likely it's because we don't know why we feel the way we feel, and we don't know what we can do to change how we feel. Emotions are what truly drive our behaviors. So I have a little graphic here. I'm going to send out these presentation slides to you guys. But if you want to take a screenshot here, really powerful graphic where I went through dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin, cortisol, not only how to produce it internally, but also how to produce it externally. So if you guys are feeling motivated and focused right now, it's probably from when I'm telling the stories, because when we're storytelling, we're wondering what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next. The better storyteller you become, the more motivation and focus you elicit out of other people, right? But when I was going through all of that stuff in the habit tracker, then it was like, oh, this isn't like a fucking story, and this is going to happen next. Oh, this is complicated. You're probably releasing a little bit more cortisol then, right? So that's the power of knowing emotional alchemy, how to elicit these hormones, these chemicals within ourselves and other people. Does that make sense to you guys? Cool. So the next question is, how do I put the space between the notes to make the music? These are my two favorite tools. I call them power pivots and or ritual resets. The first one, power pivots. These are quick strategic shifts in mental course to correct through the breath. So they're the immediate action we take to recalibrate our energy and focus. So I do 3 to 4 of these throughout the day using the Pause Breathwork app. I highly recommend it. It's a 3 to 5 minute breathwork session that allows us to get out of our head and back into our body, reduce the cortisol response, and increase serotonin response. If you feel like you can't focus, you can't get something done, just go to a power pivot. And you'll be able to reset your biochemistry, and you'll be able to get 1 to 2 hours worth of work done more per day. Or connection. Another one here is like, at the end of the day, I do 10 minutes of breath work so I can switch from work mode to relationship mode. And I'm not allowing things to seep over like I did in my last relationship that was 2.5 years, where I didn't take that pause in thinking and set new intentions. So I just let things leak over, and that's probably why we broke up, right? So those are power pivots, and then you have ritual resets. So I do these 2+ times per week. It's a longer session of breath work. I've got an example right down there. It totally resets the nervous system. I do them 2 to 3 hours before bed. And it allows you to just totally reduce all that built up cortisol throughout the day. Does that make sense? All right, guys. Cool. So we're going to get into a quick breathwork session together so you guys can experience this power pivot, and then we're going to finish up with time design. Does that sound good to you guys? All right. So this is the Pause Breathwork app. And the audio doesn't always work too well on my computer, but we're going to do our best with it. This breath is what she calls the blow breath. It's kind of like breath of fire, but just out the mouth. And you can be, but it's just fully out the mouth, and you don't even need to think about breathing in. So it just looks like this. It might feel weird at first, but you just want to get into a rhythm around it. And the best thing to do is just allow the breath to go out the mouth and just focus on the breath. And you'll get out of the head. And in about a minute into it, you'll feel yourself drop into the body. And at the very end, we'll do a breath hold. So we'll be doing that for about 2.5 minutes. And then we'll do a breath hold, which is fully in the nose. And you'll feel that energy shift and change inside of you, and that space between those thoughts start to be created. Does that sound good, guys? All right. You guys are fucking awesome. Thanks for doing this with me. Bill, Hunter, Randy, Paul. Let's get it. And one more thing. Think about snapping the belly. So it looks like this. And that's breath. You can't do breath work wrong if you're breathing the whole time. You don't.
It's time to clear the mind. Through the breath, we allow the mind to release, to relax, to let go. Let's start by taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. When you're ready, let's connect our powerful exhales only through the mouth. Allow that belly to snap in as you powerfully release the energy. And the deeper you go into your breath, the more the mind relaxes and releases. Letting the breath do the work. Beautiful. Nice, strong, powerful exhales. Just really letting the breath guide. What do you need to let go of to clear your mind, to open your awareness? Just letting it go. Beautiful work. You are safe to let go. You are safe to feel. Letting the breath guide you into clearing a lot of the confusion and frustration. You're doing amazing. Just keep with that breath. Keep with the flow of the breath. There you go. See if we can, for the last couple moments, really intensify that exhale. Really letting it go. What energy do you need to release through the mouth to create more spaciousness for your truth? And when you're ready, taking a deep breath in through the nose, holding the breath at the top, holding for a few moments here. Noticing the energy shift and recalibrate. Letting it go. You are complete.
How you guys feeling? Have a nice little shift and change and be there. Let me make sure. Come back onto this. There we go. So with that breath, we release more endorphins, which allows us to give us a little boost of calm energy and also a lot of serotonin anytime with breath where we're breathing, which reduces the cortisol response. Cool. Awesome. So let's wrap things up here with time design. So I remember a time when I felt constantly busy, yet my biggest goals seemed perpetually out of reach. It was like I was trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much effort I poured in, the results just drained away. That's when I turned to time tracking. And let me tell you, it's a revolution. So I time tracked back in the day about 3 years ago. It was super helpful. And then I started using the time tracker that's in your Airtable, and it spits out the actual numbers. So around deep work, around task work, around social relationships, around your sleep time. And it allows you to better manage your time because what we measure is managed. So if you feel like time is just slipping away and there are holes in your bucket, for a week, commit to time tracking every single day. So just have it up here, click it, put in the time. When you do that, you'll be able to better manage and pivot of what you actually want to focus on. So how you can think of it is imagine you're an artist and every morning you're handed a blank canvas. That's your day. Now you have a palette of colors, and these are your tasks, your breaks, your deep work, your energy rituals. Without a plan or understanding, you might splash colors randomly, ending up with a messy canvas. But with time tracking and time design, you become the master artist, deliberately choosing where each color goes, creating a daily masterpiece. So every single morning, I'll go into my calendar, and you'll see the colors here, and I will mark off each hour of my day. And what I've found is at the end of the day, when I'm in rest and relaxation time, I don't think about business anymore. I'm there to socialize with my loved ones, right? And it's as simple as using a calendar and going in each day and painting your day every single day. I have the purple ones as energy rituals. I have blue as team meetings, all of that stuff. All you need to do is open up your calendar each day and paint your day each day. You will add so much focus, productivity, and love to your day just by doing this. Make sense? Cool. So, time design. The initial setup, 2 hours of deep work on your calendar every single day. This has added so much productivity. And you want to think about the 2 hours during your day where you have the most focus and energy, so you can complete those projects and those tasks that you've been wanting to get done, right? If you just block off 2 hours where you're not distracted from anything every single day, it will change the rest of your life. My 2 hours are from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I don't have any meetings then. That's when I focus on the number one thing. So it might be a sales funnel. It might be fixing a relationship. It might be whatever the number one gap in my life or business is. Those are the 2 hours I devote to it. I recommend 3 to 4 energy rituals throughout the day when you have energy dips. So it's around 3 o'clock. It's about 1 o'clock here. And I do exercise at 3 o'clock every single day, 30-minute workout. And then I do those breathwork sessions intermittently. Add a sleep time to your calendar as well. When you fall asleep, when you wake up, when you do that and commit to it, you fall into your natural rhythm. And the other thing too is there are some days where I don't fall asleep at the same time I'm doing something, but it's how quickly we get back on the horse. And one of the most important things is social or rest and relaxation time. It's the space between the notes that make the music. If we're constantly thinking about business when we're off of business, that's not when our best ideas come to us, right? It's usually during our deep work or thinking time. And it allows us to really commit to those relationships and be present for our loved ones. And it's just about blocking that time off on your calendar. For more, watch the time design training inside of the habit tracker with Spencer Burnett. It's really good. And then daily actions. So each morning, paint your daily canvas. What is today going to look like? What am I doing during my deep work time? So initially, I have those things carved off for deep work, and then I take that off and replace it with build a habit tracker funnel, something like that, right? Ask yourself what would make today great every single day. You can ask yourself right now, what would make today great? And it will, the quality of our questions determine. So what was sparked to remind yourself to the beach today. Fill yourself up with love and joy. Fill your cup up so it overflows to others. And think about what would make today great every single day. And then what else do I desire to accomplish today? And add it to your calendar. Does that sound good, guys? Cool. Last thing on time tracking. Time is what we want most, but what we use worse. William Penn. So have you ever found yourself asking where the day went? Or perhaps you felt that sinking feeling of not achieving what you set out to achieve, even after a long day of work? You're not alone, but here's the truth. Time doesn't slip away. It's simply mismanaged. People aren't busy. They're just shitty at managing their time. And that's why we have time tracking. So commit yourself to 7 days of time tracking and you'll be able to see exactly where your time goes. All right. Would love to get some takeaways from you guys before the final gift coming up. Great question, Paul. So power pivot is a type of energy ritual. So there are ritual resets and power pivots. Ritual resets are things that totally reset the nervous system. It could be spending 30 minutes in a sauna. It could be hitting that really hard workout for the week. That's an hour and 15 minutes long. It could be a heavy breathwork session that's 30 minutes to an hour. Those are the ritual resets. And then the power pivots are quick. The 3 to 5 minute things that shift our energy. And all those are energy rituals. So good question. What are you guys most excited for? And we'll get into the last part here. What was your big takeaway?
Yeah, I'll go real quick. So for me, I think a lot of us have seen these things, visualize and, make sure your calendar looks good or it's like set up, but sometimes we don't do it. So the big thing is seeing your example and seeing like it's possible. It's not just like a concept that you pick up in a book. So the biggest thing for me is like making it real, like the breathwork stuff. Like when the hell am I going to do that? Oh, put it on the calendar, right? Or right after lunch or right at 4 p.m. when the energy dips. So for me, it's just like really making this real.
Dude, I love it. And we can always move those things around. People usually give up because they're like, this is set in stone. But if we just do it every single day and just move things around, changes how we operate. Let's get one more audio one. Let's hop off mute. Share their takeaway. Bill, Hunter, Randy, Paul.
Well, I was just commenting that, kind of the emotional alchemy is the awareness, right? The awareness that that sometimes things are building up inside us, right? Like that stress or anxiety just throughout the working day. And to be able to offset that consciously with, with an activity or a relaxation technique, breathing technique, etc., to build up that serotonin to offset that cortisol. So I appreciated learning about that.
Dude, 100%. I love that. I think if I had known these concepts, I would have never been depressed in the first place, especially with emotional alchemy. So thanks for bringing that up. Cool. FB Scraper, huge system, is big daunting, but most excited for the visual system and tracking. Awesome. Cool, guys. I have one last thing for you. Show of hands, who got some value out of this? Raise the hands here. Just a reminder of what we covered. So we covered the mindset. Life isn't short. It's the longest thing we've ever done, the longest thing we ever will do. The rule of threes, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. The always, the nevers of habit implementation and deletion. The never regret list, you created that. Installing the habit tracker and how to use ChatGPT. We covered energy rituals for peak performance and we did breath work together. Power pivots, ritual resets, time design for life mastery. And the last thing to share with you, can I share with you guys a no-brainer offer with you to continue this work together? Raise the hands. Is that cool? Awesome. So continuing this journey with the reprogramming project community. This is my forever thing and we just launched it. I have the firm belief that everybody is doing the best with the current programming that they have. And I learned that in Costa Rica and really installed that in Costa Rica. I was getting a haircut in 2021 with these awesome guys. They were talking about their dreams, their ambitions, their life. And they just didn't know how to reprogram themselves, their energy, their mindset, the people that they surround themselves with to ultimately get to their goals and where they wanted to go. I don't know why it was when I was sitting in that barber chair where I was like, wow, if people just knew how to reprogram their mindset and their energy and have the systems to do it, this world would be a totally different place. instead of just looking at the strategies and the tactics and everything that you're learning inside of YouTube videos and coaching programs and all of that. What really drives our results are our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. So if we can reprogram our thoughts and our feelings, then we can actually drive that action forward. Kind of what you've learned in this presentation so far around the energy rituals and the time design and all of that stuff. Really mastering our thoughts, feelings, and actions. So I put together a system to reprogram or evolve our identity and to elevate our energy. So I call it the identity transformation system, which is part of the reprogramming project community. And we go through all these trainings and how to plug it into your actual system. One thing that people are missing is really defining their core values. So Dr. DeMartini has great trainings on values, but we teach it a little bit differently. So we teach it how to categorize your values. So let me share why that's important. My top lifestyle values are community, connection, philosophizing, travel, and family. So I built my business around that. Building communities, connecting deeply with brothers, thinking deeply about subjects, and creating my own frameworks, my own methodologies out of those things. I get to travel whenever I want, and I'm building my future family. And then our educational values. What do we love consuming and fills us up with the most love and joy? For me, that's human behavior, social dynamics, and spiritual studies. So what do I study and what frameworks do I create and what do I teach? It's all around human behavior, social dynamics, and spiritual studies. And then my work values are researching, systemizing, and teaching. So I love to research new subjects, systemize those things, and then teach them. So I've built my entire business, my entire life around my values. And when we have this type of operating system and truly know our core values, we start to build our life around those things. And there are also social values as well. I actually just started dating a girl 7 days ago. We had been dating before that, but redating. And she checks off all of my romantic values. She's grounded, she's ambitious, she's loving, she's sensual. She checks off all of those things. And now when I meet somebody, I know why I don't resonate with that person or why I do resonate with that person. It's just a matter of values alignment, mission alignment, and vision alignment. And that's the power of knowing our core values. It changes how we see the entire world and what we do, and also how we interact with other people, right? And also, we have the vision, mission, purpose, all of that, and the trainings on really how to define those things from your core values. And I used to create, I don't know if you're like me, but I used to create so many vision things on journals or in Google Documents, and I would lose them. So I put it in a centralized system so you can review your vision every single day and produce that dopamine hit every single day so you're more motivated and more focused. Then we have our core beliefs, super powerful reframes. So I have the core belief everybody's doing best with the current programming that they have. It's an external belief. I don't get angry with people anymore. Like there's that initial feeling of anger. Somebody cuts me off in traffic, but I take a breath, energy ritual, and optimize my energy. And then I think everybody's doing the best with the current programming that they have. So I can shift and change my mind in any moment. That's the power of having core beliefs. And then your core principles. One of my core principles for work, so there's life, there's work, there's relationships. One of mine is if I won't work with somebody for a lifetime, I won't work with them for a day. So that saved me so much money and time in the long run, where I used to not filter things through that decision-making process and mishire people. That's the power of having just one new principle in your life, business, or relationships. So all of this is tied together in the alignment journal. So every single morning, and I brought this up earlier, the quality of our life comes down to the quality of questions that we ask ourselves. This gives us a feedback loop each morning to identify and ask ourselves, what is my intention today? What am I grateful for? Filling us up with gratitude, which is how we move from fear to love. is asking ourselves, what am I grateful for in this moment? And it ties in with what value do I want to live by today? What vision do I want to live by today? What belief do I want to live by today? And what principle do I want to live by today? In this way, I built this so nobody will fall out of alignment with themselves like I did when I was running Tribe of Buyers. We're reminded of who we are at our core every single day. We're more happy, we're more productive, and we connect so much deeper with our loved ones. So that's a breakdown of just one part of the identity transformation system, and it's a tool that you have for life. It's not something that you need to get it all done right now. It's something that you think deeply about and chip away at. And we have our community in there. So we have 17 people in there right now, all entrepreneurs looking to better themselves. And the people in our life are our life. So if you're looking to surround yourself with a loving community that is there to support you and to grow in your energy, your mindset, and how you actually take action, this is a place for you. And we did a beta launch for the identity transformation system. And here's some things that people said. So Edwin here, yo, seriously, thank you so much for the Airtable and trainings. It's changed my life in profound ways. It's what I've been trying to create something like this for myself many years. So benefiting from your work and design. I'm so deeply grateful. I literally write what I'm grateful for in this Airtable template every day. Man, it's been crazy to see how things are changing with the breath work and changing up a few things. I'm changing a lot of my values. Andrew mentioned this last week, to be more in alignment with my true self and not the validation or the ego. Eric, for the first time in my life, I feel organized and in control. Everyone on personal journey needs the self-mastery system, which is the identity transformation system. So we have everything in Skool, and we've got this rocking and rolling, these amazing people. And we also I brought in the best mindset expert to do a call every Tuesday. I brought in one of the best systems and AI experts to run a call every Wednesday, and one of the best energy experts to run a call every Monday. So, question is, what does that look like? So the TRP community, you get the identity transformation system and trainings. We also have AI systems and trainings as well, which is $5,000 value, both these things. Weekly identity transformation system calls, mindset, energy, systems, and AI, which I valued at $2,000. The reprogramming project Skool community at $1,000. Energy ritual accountability threads at $300. And starting a global movement together to reprogram ourselves and reprogram the world from a place of love instead of fear. So all of that total $13,000. And for the founding members special, it's just $49 today. So if you're looking to commit fully to these habits, to go deeper on Airtable, to go deeper on your energy rituals and everything we talked about today, and commit to a new life with the identity transformation system and a new community, that's what we're here for. And just to break that down, we only have 17 spots left at that $49 per month price. You can cancel at any time. I'm really just here to get everybody the tools and to reprogram from themselves, their mindset, their energy. And we officially start Monday, September 11th with the founding members only kickoff call. But you get immediate access to all of the reprogramming project community trainings, ITS system immediately. You can ask me questions inside of there, anything around the habit tracking system or energy rituals or anything we discussed today. And when we feel better, when we think better, we do better, we're more productive, and we'll make more money. So to get started, you can say, drop that link down below. If you want to join us, I'll put it in the chat right down here. Boom. And boom. And just to recap on everything, it's the identity transformation systems and trainings. We'll have the AI systems and trainings plus a call every Wednesday around AI and systems. So if you're not using it in your business yet or your personal life, that will cover the cost of the $50 per month instantly. We have the weekly identity transformation systems calls. So if you're struggling with your mindset, come to a call on Monday with Gladius, who's the master at deleting limiting beliefs. Or if you're struggling with your energy, then come to the call every Tuesday with Alex. Or if you're struggling with your systems and your AI, come to a call every Wednesday with Eric. I'll also be on a handful of those calls as well, and super active inside the community. So you get the reprogramming project Skool community, energy rituals, accountability threads. If you want to commit to your breath work, your meditation, your exercise, we're all holding each other accountable here, starting the global movement together. So $13,000 value for yours today, $49. And we get to go deeper on our habits and fully commit to those habits together. So 17 spots left before next Monday. Those will fill up. And my main thing, I just wanted to make a no-brainer offer for you guys. And this is my for everything and fully committing to people reprogramming their mindset and energy. Super deeply meaningful to me. But cool, guys. So we got the link in there. If you want to sign up, I'll get you rocking and rolling with everything and celebrate you guys. Are there any questions on the habit or habit training or the tracker or the reprogramming project community? Anything that I can answer for you guys? Yes, Paul.
What time zone are those calls? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I think I saw 11 a.m. for most of them.
Yeah,
Just call an offer though, by the way. I'm stoked on it.
Thank you, dude. Right now we have the Tuesday call at 11 and then the Wednesday call, the systems AI call at 2. But we're going to play around with that to maximize the amount of people that can show up. So it's not set in stone right now.
And did you say that's Eastern or Pacific?
That's Eastern. We have some people on the side, so we're going to switch some of those things up so we can accommodate the maximum amount of people.
Cool. Those times right now sound pretty good for me though. But yeah.
Fucking perfect.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome, Paul. Bill, I have one question, but I was just called away. I'll PM you. Awesome. Sounds good. Awesome value today. Thank you. Any questions on anything else? Okay. Well, just to recap with you guys, think about what will make the biggest difference in your life right now. So is it the energy rituals and putting those in your habit tracker? Is it the never regret list and doubling down on those and putting those in your calendar as well? Is it using ChatGPT and rocking that out and start implementing those things? You have all the trainings of what we covered inside of the habit tracker. You've got it on your phone now if you've downloaded the Airtable app, and you've got it on your Google Chrome bar extension up here to access it at any time. And I hope to see you guys in the reprogramming project community. I promise I won't let you fail. And it's adding more time and more energy to your life. It's not taking away from it. And I hope I proved that today. And yeah, for those of you who have joined, Paul, super excited to see you on the inside and on the calls. And when I see you guys come through, I'll celebrate you. And I'll see you guys on the inside. Thank you so much for being here. This is my favorite thing to do, and I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And keep me updated with everything. So appreciate you guys, and I'll see you soon.